What is CAPM in project management? Well, if you're not quite sure, then you've come to the right place, because in today's video, we're going to be talking about exactly what it is. So whether you've seen this acronym, whether it's been mentioned to you, or you've just come across it, then we're going to be discussing exactly what it is. And we're also going to be covering these different agenda items as well. And if you can read between the lines, you might even understand or have an idea as to what it could be. But by the end, we will be running through everything you need to know about it, and I'll also be addressing some common frequently asked questions about it too. So first and foremost, what is CAPM? Well, CAPM, which is an acronym for the Certified Associate in Project Management, it is a foundational project management certification, and it is provided and administered by the PMI, who are the Project Management Institute. Now, CAPM is a globally acknowledged project management qualification. Now, it is considered to be an entry-level qualification that is often acquired as an entry point into a career in the project management industry. Now, the CAPM has exam questions that are derived from the PMBOK guide, which is the PMI's global standards for project management. Now, the idea of the CAPM is that this qualification will provide foundational learning to individuals with little former knowledge or experience, and the idea is that once it's completed, it shows that holders will be able to fulfill a project management role. They'll have the core knowledge. Now, this certification, once you pass the exam, the certification will last for 5 years. Now, do note that you can get recertified by sitting another exam after this time. However, if you've passed the exam, you will always retain the qualification. You just won't have that latest certification, so just bear that in mind. So, what are the requirements to take CAPM? Well, you'll need to meet both of the following criteria to sit for the CAPM exam. Firstly, you'll need a high school diploma. So if you're in the US, you will know where that is. If you're in the UK, then you'll need a secondary school education. You can also qualify with a GED or an associate degree or an equivalent. Now, you also need 23 hours of project management education before you sit the exam. Now, this can include the passing of other project management courses, whether that's in person or online. So there's plenty you can get online. I believe Google have a certification, a project management certification that you can take, and that would count towards the hours. So what does the CAPM exam involve? Well, the exam looks to test in 4 key areas: project management fundamentals and the role of a project manager, the project management environment and project integration management. It will test you on project scope, schedule, cost, quality and resource management. And it's also looking at project procurement, communication, stakeholder and risk management. So all of these kind of core essential skills, if you like, and processes for project managers. So why would you take the CAPM exam? Well, gaining the CAPM qualification should allow greater opportunity for getting an entry-level project management role. So as an example, if you're yet to have a project management position, it would be great if you had this qualification ahead of applying for roles such as a project coordinator or even a junior project manager. So it should allow the chance to interview for higher salary positions in these kind of roles as well. It will also help equip you with the foundational knowledge to better succeed in one of these roles. Now, completing the CAPM will automatically qualify you to sit the PMP exam and fulfill the criteria required for it. So for that exam and qualification, you need to have 35 hours of project management education. So how much does the CAPM cost? Well, sitting the CAPM costs $300 for non-PMI members or $225 for PMI members. Of course, there will be an equivalent in UK pounds if you are in the UK. Now, do consider that you will need to pay $150 if you're a member or $200 if you're not a member for each exam resit. So if you were to fail, then there is going to be cost involved. Equally, you're only permitted to take the exam 3 times per year. So should you fail 3 times, you would need to wait a year to try again. So on the right hand side, I've got a CAPM exam preparation guide. It's a manual, I should say, and you can get that over at Amazon. I would really recommend, if you're considering this course, that you do really study hard and get a kind of a guide such as this. As I say, link in the description below will take you to it, and you can maybe get it on Prime. But I would really recommend, you can see the costs involved here for resitting, and just, you know, if you were to fail it a few times, you know, you might have to wait a long amount of time. So time is of the essence. So yeah, if you're going to go for it, I would study hard. So how long is the CAPM exam? Well, it contains 150 questions, and you'll have 3 hours in total, that's without a break, to complete it. Now, the questions are a 4-option multiple choice style. 15 of them are pre-test questions and are not marked. So when you think about it, the entire exam is actually 135 questions. But yeah, the 15 you're going to want to do just to get into the rhythm of the exam and understand how it's kind of done. Now, the exam will test your understanding of how to apply project management practices to achieve project objectives. And you can sit it online as well. It doesn't have to be in person, which is really good. Now, PMI does not publish its pass mark. So it's one of those things, obviously, the more you get right, the more likely you are to pass. It is going to be, I mean, this is an educated guess, it's going to be more than 75% to pass, maybe even 80%. But you know, 135 questions, you're looking at, you know, at least over kind of 80 to maybe more, 90 to pass. So do bear that in mind. Now let's run through some FAQs. You may have some of these questions if you are considering the CAPM. So what is the difference between CAPM and the PMP? Well, the difference between CAPM and the PMP is the eligibility criteria to sit the exam, the reputation of the qualification itself, and the expected outcomes of the certification. So the CAPM is considered an entry-level certification that is designed primarily for individuals who are new to project management or to prepare them for an entry-level role, whereas the PMP is considered a professional level credential, and it is aimed more at skilled practitioners. So it obviously depends on your current knowledge and experience what is most applicable to you. So is CAPM as good as PMP? Well, PMP is considered the superior qualification to CAPM side by side. However, these qualifications are intended for different candidates and levels of experience. So the CAPM is considered the better and only course if you're a beginner or you're inexperienced in the project management industry, whereas the PMP is designed for those with some project management knowledge and experience and education already. So yeah, it completely depends on who is intending to sit it and what you kind of need it for. The PMP may be way too much for your current position, so do bear that in mind. But at the bottom here you can see ultimately the qualifications are designed for different individuals and for different purposes. So FAQ number 3, does CAPM qualify you for PMP? Well, CAPM does qualify you for the PMP. It can be used as the prerequisite of requiring 35 hours of project management training or education to sit the exam. So yes, you can always do the CAPM first, and that would be the recommended course of action. Number 4, is CAPM harder than PMP? Well, CAPM is not considered harder than PMP, with the PMP being a more involved exam in terms of complexity. That being said, it could be the case that beginners to the project management industry may find the CAPM more challenging in some respects to begin with, as concepts are new, there is little experience to draw on, etc. So just do bear that in mind. It obviously depends on context here. It also depends on how long you could be in a project management position for 20 years before you sit the PMP, and in that case you may find the PMP much easier than the CAPM, and it's unlikely that with 20 years of experience well, it's probably not recommended either that you'd ever do the CAPM. And in that case, obviously, the CAPM would be much easier too, but you just wouldn't sit that exam. Number 5, can I be a project manager with the CAPM? You can be a project manager with CAPM. However, the qualification is predominantly used as a means of getting an entry-level project management role, such as a project coordinator or junior project manager. That doesn't mean you can't apply for a more senior project manager role with just a CAPM, and it may be that the organisation draws on your other industry experience instead of or as well as the CAPM exam and certification. Just do bear in mind that if you are going against other candidates with a PMP or with much more experience, then a CAPM qualification alone might not be enough. So in summary, the CPM is an entry-level qualification for those looking to get into the project management industry. Whether you should take the exam, however, will be context dependent. It depends on your current knowledge and experience and the job market itself and the kind of career you are willing and wanting to pursue. Now, some organisations and industries will value the qualification higher than others. Do bear that in mind. It does provide you with foundational knowledge, and it does show you that once you've passed it, you are recognised by the reputable PMI as having the skills required to be able to fulfil a project management based role. It is also useful if you are looking to take the PMP or advance your career in project management in the future. You will get experience of the testing involved and how the PMI kind of run their exams. It will qualify you for the PMP, and you will get this as you'll get the great reference resources that you can use when you're in a project management position. But as I've mentioned earlier, if you are going to take the exam, make sure that you study. And as I've previously mentioned too, this is the book I would recommend you get, or guide, and you can get that via the link in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue recording videos like this. And do consider subscribing to my channel. If you head over to my channel, I've got plenty of other project management videos like this, including trainings on different project management concepts and processes, also on different artifacts, how to build them, how to create them, and project management tools and softwares too. So with all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.